What's up, nerds? So let's get this out of the way really fast. Power Rangers in Space is the best season, and here are my reasons why. Number 1, it ties up nearly every loose end from the last 5 seasons. Number 2, it has like every villain from the series doing villain things at the end. Number 3, Bulk and Skull's finest moment ever is in this season. It is fantastic. Number 4, in a random episode of this season, it reinforced the fact that Justin was not a bad Power Ranger, just a bad concept. Number 5, Andros. Probably my first TV crush. Number 6, Astronema was a fantastic villain. And number 7, overall the writing for the season was just phenomenal. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, I shall now defend why I, a 27-year-old woman, still likes a show about American teens fighting rubber-suited Japanese monsters. Here's the big reason. Nostalgia. Big surprise there. I grew up watching Power Rangers with my brothers. I've seen every season until Operation Overdrive, and if you've seen that season, you'll know why that's when I stopped watching. I have great memories of jumping on our trampoline, back before doing so would basically give me a heart attack, and pretending to be Power Rangers. I was going to be the first ever Purple Ranger. I remember getting our first action figures and was confused why they made the girly girl the White Ranger in Wild Force if they were just going to put pink on her costume anyways. I remember all the times we'd play for hours with those same action figures, even when they started breaking and we'd have to Frankenstein them together. I know nearly all the theme songs up until Jungle Fury, and excluding Overdrive, because Overdrive. I will frequently pull up Linkara's History of Power Rangers and watch his abridged take on each season, which you should totally watch, link in the description to that playlist. And also every few months, I will headbang to every single theme, except for Overdrive. And yes, this does give me an excruciating headache, but you know what? It's worth it because Power Rangers. I have extremely fond memories of Power Rangers. But is it any good? Kinda. So going back, for those of you that don't know, Power Rangers was a project by the company Saban, the same company that gave us Digimon, to bring Super Sentai to America. Eventually, in 1993, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers premiered and it was a huge hit. Not just a hit, it became a cultural phenomenon. Here's the thing. It's super cheesy, especially that first season, which is generally the one people think of when they think of Power Rangers. Honestly, it shouldn't have worked. There were other attempts to do shows like this: VR Troopers, Masked Rider, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Next Mutation. None of those shows were remembered as fondly as Power Rangers. So why? Why did this show work when all others seemed to fail? Here's my theory. That first season had heart. Really, that's what I'm going with. When I watched the first season back when I was a tiny little one, I loved the martial arts, but that was mostly later on. What I really loved is that it was about characters doing what is right because it's right, even before they became Power Rangers. A recurring theme in every season of Power Rangers is doing what you can even when you don't have the power to. And that's what gives them their power. Not the suits, not the martial arts, not even the giant floating head. It's their need and want to help anyone that they can. Each season that I've watched tries to work this in, giving the team the opportunity to stop being Rangers, to stop helping people. But they don't, except for Overdrive. And that's what's great about the whole Power Rangers franchise. It's not just the martial arts that brings people back, and it's not just the nostalgia, though that is a big part of it. It's seeing characters do what is right. And so now that I've praised a good part of Power Rangers, I'm going to bash a terrible part. Remember that movie that came out in 2017? You don't? Good, because it was crap. And let me tell you why. I'm about to spoil basically the whole thing, but you don't need to watch it, so it's fine. Go watch, the CinemaSins review instead. So the Power Rangers cinematic movie that came out is a reboot of the original first season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, clearly written by people who did not understand what made the first season so iconic. Now, I'm going to say that, yes, you need to make changes to make a cinematic version work. And so I'll start by praising the things that this movie does okay. Elizabeth Banks is fine as Rita. She's campy, but in a different way than the original that I think was really fun, and clearly she was having a lot of fun with it too. I liked Billy a lot. Like, a lot. The changes to his character were really interesting, and I kind of related to him quite a bit. Like, making his character more naive and trusting to a fault just gave him so much more depth, and I really enjoyed it. The effects were okay. I'm generally willing to suspend my disbelief when it comes to certain effects. I don't need things to look super realistic. I know not every film is gonna get that James Cameron budget. I'm not even mad at the suits. Like, over the years, I've gotten used to the suits changing with each season, and honestly, this isn't even the first Mighty Morphin suit change, so I was okay with them. Overall, almost everyone was cast fine. I'm mostly talking about the 5 main characters and Rita. With what they were given, and even if the script had been rewritten, I think they were fine choices. But yikes, that is about it. Because everything else was either stupid or insulting. Let's go down the list. Number 1, the original series had the teens as goody-goods, basically mostly unrealistic role models who did way too many extracurriculars and basically ran the town. So how did the movie fix this? By making the teens good people, but more realistically stressed since they have to balance schoolwork, a job, and possibly saving the world? Nope, let's put them all in detention. Let's make Zach and Trini trespassers. Let's make Jason a delinquent. Billy was fine. Let's have Kimberly leak her friend's nudes. Let's just make them the Breakfast Club. Let's make all the characters that are supposed to be role models and people you want to save the world, troublemakers and delinquents, so self-centered that it would make no sense for these people to want to save their parents, Zach, let alone save their own town. Number 2, I hate civilian powers. I'm lifting this a bit from Linkara, but them having powers before they get the suits cheapens the morphing and has it make no sense for them to even get the morphing suits. The original teens didn't have powers, but most of them did have some martial arts or gymnastics training. I know that it's super unrealistic to have the teens already know how to fight, but how about giving them other things? Keep Kimberly's gymnastics, give Zach some less 90s and more serious dance training. Have Trini be the one obsessed with martial arts. Billy's fine. Have Jason be into some kind of sport, like how he was a football player in the movie until he ended up in detention. You use their already existing real-life skills to enhance their fighting, but ultimately they're going to need the suits. That's what they're supposed to be there for. Number 3, Zordon sucked. I love Bryan Cranston, but either he didn't want to be there or he was horribly misdirected, because his performance was so bland and so disingenuous that I couldn't believe that the teens went with what he said. Except for Billy, because it goes with his character. Alpha was fine, but why change everything about Zordon, the confidant and mentor of the team? They changed everything about him, including his backstory. Do you know why I cry at the end of Power Rangers in Space? Because we have a real threat of losing Zordon. Zordon, our mentor, basically our father figure who has been there through 5 seasons. But this Zordon? Would anyone care if he were in the same position? No. No one would care. I don't even think he cared. Number 4, that wasn't Goldar. Number 5, why did they introduce the Zeo Crystal when they really didn't need to in the first season? That's supposed to come later, and did you really think you're getting another movie? Number 6, why did the entire climax revolve around a Krispy Kreme? Do we need to make our product placement that obvious? Number 7, why did they have to stand in a circle to get their suits? Clearly, Billy didn't need to, so why did that need to happen? Number 8, why did Zordon lie to the teens? Zordon doesn't lie. That's why this isn't Zordon. Number 9, excuse me, why did they think any of this would work anyway? I mean, Power Rangers has been, hit or miss lately, and do they really think they could do a movie like this when, people can't, I know, I'm done, I'm broken. I'm getting mad. I am mad. I'm pretty mad. When I saw this movie opening weekend, I almost walked out. It's bad, people. Like, really, really bad. The 2017 movie takes something that so many people know and love and turns it into something cheap, stupid, and looking like everything else on the market. I could probably name 5 other movies that this one copies from. But they couldn't copy from Power Rangers. So what should you watch from the Power Rangers franchise? Well, every season, but Operation Overdrive, Samurai, and Megaforce. Don't at me. Maybe the first movie if you're into cheesiness with a slight budget. Also, maybe see the Turbo movie. I like it, but I know a lot of people who don't. And avoid the 2017 movie. So that's gonna end it for today. This turned into a way angrier video than I meant it to. Sorry. Please make sure to hit that like button and don't dislike. I couldn't really think of a good reason not to, so just don't hit it because I'm cute. Please subscribe if you haven't already and ring the bell so you're notified when I upload things that aren't rants about franchises you don't really care about. Have a great rest of your day and I'll catch up with you guys later. Bye! I wish I could play some of the Power Rangers music, but I don't want to get kicked off the internet. I think that the Time Force theme song is my favorite. It's not the best one at all, but it is my favorite. That was a lot of fun. I had fun recording this. I had so much fun.